And so we're about to move into the Edmund S. Muskie Award presentation. And the Muskie Award is for our pro bono award to a TIPS member. And to introduce our Muskie Award winner is Maureen Mulligan. Thank you.
So I'm thrilled to be here tonight to present this award to my law school friend and fellow Boston lawyer, Erin Higgins. Erin is a partner at Cohn Cavanaugh, Rosenthal, Fleisch & Ford, and she is an extraordinary lawyer who is a leader not only in her firm but in the Boston legal community. But it's Erin's commitment to use her skills and talents as a lawyer to provide pro bono legal services to women who are victims of abuse, rape, and domestic assault that moved the Law and Public Service Committee to give her the Muskie Award this evening. In 2005, Erin began volunteering as an attorney advocate at the Victim Rights Law Center. Now, the Victim Rights Law Center serves the legal needs of sexual assault victims by providing legal representation in the civil context. The center provides legal representation to victims of rape and sexual assault to help them rebuild their lives. Now, I'm going to tell you just about three very short examples of some of the types of cases and some of the types of clients that Erin has had and that she has helped and assisted in this capacity. Erin represented a woman who was raped by a coworker and assisted her in negotiating workplace accommodations until the criminal trial of the alleged rapist had been concluded. The company could not fire the alleged rapist until he was convicted of a crime, and as a result, the victim, who needed her job, was faced with arriving at work each day and having to face her rapist again and again. But through Erin's work, the company instituted procedures to keep the parties separate, which allowed the woman to continue working in a job that she very much needed. Erin has represented rape victims who are in the United States without proper documentation, to assist them in obtaining U visas so they can testify against their assailants in assault cases without fear of being deported. This work serves a very vulnerable population. One of Erin's longest running cases was when she represented a victim of assault who was raped and almost killed by her employer. The rapist refused to abide by the temporary restraining orders issued by the court, and he continued to harass the woman that he raped. After the rapist failed on multiple occasions to abide by the temporary restraining order, Erin sought a permanent injunction with a wide geographical area in an effort to keep the alleged rapist away from his former employee. And as you know out there, all of us as lawyers, permanent injunctions, including location restrictions, are very difficult to obtain. Unlike a TRO, they require an evidentiary hearing. Erin was successful in getting a permanent injunction preventing the assailant from entering the town where the woman lived. And this gave her the freedom to go to the local coffee shop, to meet her friends out for dinner, without the fear of being followed, potentially harassed, or harmed by her assailant. Erin has a full-time caseload of paying clients, but she is also the pro bono partner in her law firm. And in that role, she supervises and advises associates who are doing pro bono representation. In a world of overworked lawyers who are always looking for extra time, Erin's work encouraging young lawyers to engage in pro bono work and then taking the time to mentor them in that work is an important contribution to instilling in a younger generation of lawyers the importance of pro bono representation and in providing them an opportunity to do so. Encouraging pro bono work is good. We all do that. But mentoring, sponsoring, and providing advice so that young lawyers can actually engage in pro bono service is a commitment to serving an underserved population. If this were not enough, she has also served on the board of the Women's Bar Foundation since 2002 and was its president in 2009. The Women's Bar Foundation advances social and economic justice by providing low-income women and their children with legal representation. She serves on the board of the Appleseed Center for Law and Justice. This is a national organization that advocates for social change. The focus recently for this group has been on providing public education for homeless children. And Erin was appointed by the justices of the Supreme Judicial Court of Massachusetts to the court's Committee on Pro Bono Services. For most people, having a full-time job, parenting children, and belonging to one organization is enough. But Erin has been tirelessly working to use her advocacy skills to assist those who cannot afford to pay for legal representation. She has done this through her own work representing clients, through encouraging the next generation of lawyers to participate in providing direct pro bono legal services, and by her leadership as the president of the Women's Bar Foundation. Erin's generosity to reach out to others in many different capacities is a gift to the legal community. Erin leads by example, and her strong advocacy and commitment on behalf of her pro bono clients exemplifies the type of lawyer whom we all want to be part of our profession. So before I call Erin up for this award, I'd like to recognize her husband, Doug, and her children, Harry, Dennis, and Kate, who are with her this evening. And I'd also like to send a special shout out to Erin's dad, who is also an attorney, who is very proud of his daughter's work in the profession that they share. So please join me in congratulating Erin Higgins for all of her outstanding work in providing access to justice for those who would otherwise go without representation.
Thank you for that very nice introduction. I am very grateful to the TIP section for honoring me with this award, which is named for one of New England's own, Senator Edmund Muskie. As many of you know, Senator Muskie had a distinguished political career, but this award recognizes his lifelong commitment to our highest calling as lawyers, a commitment to public service, to representing the most vulnerable members of our society. And I know that the ABA and the TIP section and all of you in this room are committed to that same goal. As Maureen mentioned, most of my pro bono work has been done with the Victim Rights Law Center and the Women's Bar Foundation, both in Boston. And I want to start today by recognizing a woman who's sitting at my table, Stacey Malone, the Executive Director of the Victim Rights Law Center. Thank you, Stacey.
Our next award is maybe the one that's most personal to TIPS. It's the Andrew Hecker Award. The Hecker Award is presented to a person who consistently demonstrates the qualities of leadership, outreach, enthusiasm, professionalism, and pride in TIPS and its accomplishments. And if there was a book that had a definition for pride in TIPS and enthusiasm, and you open it up, you would see the picture of our recipient. And so to present the award winner for the Andrew C. Hecker Memorial Award this year, I introduce to you Mike Bieber.
My fellow TIPS leaders, like so many of you in this room, I am privileged to count as one of my dearest friends tonight's Hecker Award winner, Ron Richmond. He mentioned the attributes that lead to this award. Those attributes are leadership, outreach, enthusiasm, professionalism, and pride in TIPS and its accomplishments. And the most remarkable thing about Ron is the way he balances all of those attributes. And he does it always with such a welcoming smile and with a leadership style that never fails to make us laugh and motivate us at the same time. Ron first came to TIPS in 1993 when he was invited by a young lawyer with whom he had served in the Navy JAG Corps. Another lawyer like Ron, who in JAG was a hard worker and enjoyed some occasional mischief, sometimes with Ron. We know that young lawyer now as our former section chair, Alex Gonzalez. Ron immediately became involved in what has become the TIPS Diversity Committee, and soon was leading TIPS's membership committee, including through a period of some rocky times for the ABA, where he really helped steady the ship for TIPS and help us survive and thrive in a time that was tough for the organization as a whole. Ron's service to TIPS is so extensive and so excellent that I can really only summarize it. Ron has been, he's the former chair of the Insurance Coverage Litigation Committee. He has served as a mentor and trainer for general committee chairs for most of his TIPS career. Ron is such an effective leader that almost every incoming chair of the section over the last 10 years has included Ron on their long-range planning committee. So wherever TIPS is going, you've got Ron to thank for it. And he's been so effective and so important to the membership efforts of this section for so long that many of you are here tonight as a result of his initiatives, and you may not even know it. And Ron's done all these things while he's built a career of true excellence as a trial practitioner. He's a litigation partner in San Francisco with Bullivant Hauser Bailey, where he is obviously recognized by his firm for some of the same qualities we recognize. He's a member of the firm's board of directors and a former managing partner of the San Francisco office. He's recognized as a Northern California super lawyer, and so he'll be quick to tell you he has the cape to prove it. But you know, all these accolades don't really reflect what Ron cares about the most, and that's his family. Ron is blessed to be married to Kathleen, who's with us tonight. Kathleen is she's a recovering lawyer, but still feels fairly friendly towards folks in our profession. She's now the director of a nonprofit institution. Ron's also blessed with two wonderful sons, one of whom is Ben, who's with us here tonight, a student at the University of California, Davis. And his other son, who's not with us tonight, who's a student, Sam, who's a student at the University of Virginia Law School. Ron, it has been my privilege to serve with you for the last 20 years in TIPS. You have elevated me, you have elevated our section, and every way you have made it better. And we could not be prouder, all of us tonight, to recognize you as the 2014 recipient of the Andrew C. Hecker Memorial Award.
I'm just thinking I should quit after that introduction. One thing I always taught, especially in federal law and motion, is quit while you're ahead. But I have to say, I was a bit shocked and almost a bit stunned when Gene gave me this fabulous news in Florida that I was going to be awarded this incredible honor. And truthfully, the news couldn't come from a greater guy than Gene. He's been an absolute fabulous leader of TIPS, and it's just that much more rewarding that I had the opportunity tonight to share the spotlight with you. So thank you very much. There's Pam. They come in a second. Again, it's not a share this evening with you. I'd like to thank you personally for being my friends and being at my side for over 20 years. You've been my great friends and mentors. And I know that you have a gift for me tonight, but Pam, I have a gift for you, a special thing. It took me a long time, but I found share a Diet Coke with a friend. So I'd like to share this. Since May, I've really had a lot of time to think about this award and think about what it meant. And a couple things really jumped out. To me, an organization is only as strong as its weakest link. And I thought, by God, it's about time they recognize the weakest links in this organization. I've been waiting years for this. So on behalf of my fellow weakest links, and I'm sure there are a few of you out there, I accept this award on their behalf. It also goes without saying what an incredible honor it is and so gratified to actually be singled out for something other than a police lineman. Again, I'm grateful. But as Mike alluded, I've been involved in TIPS for over 20 years, and a fellow JAG lawyer, Alex Gonzalez, got me involved in this section. And he told me what an incredible organization this was. And what was really interesting about this organization, it's not just for business, it's about family. We really had an opportunity, for all those with kids, we had an opportunity to watch our kids grow up together. Peter Bennett, for years and years, chaired the Family Arrangements Committee. And we used to bring our kids every year to the annual meeting. We had some of the best babysitters in the world. The TIP staff took care of my kids, and I got to share them with me. So I'd like to thank Linda, Felicia, Debbie, Janet. Thank you very much for helping me raise my kids. Year after year, every annual, we bring the kids and we drop them off. And year after year, they still found their way back to San Francisco. I think it worked out in the end, but I know you did what you could. But I want to tell you, when I come to these meetings, I'm truly surrounded by some of the best friends I've ever had and ever will have. And I don't want to leave anyone out, but I really do have to do a shout out to the best friend I think I've ever had, and has been at my side for over 20 plus years, and that's Mike Beaver. You've made my experience wonderful. Thank you so much for being here. Truly, the best I've ever known. When I look around the room when I come to these meetings, what draws me to these meetings year after year is basically the Puerto Rico and Boca Raton resorts. When we do have the other meetings, it's really great actually. You get to look out of this room and see what incredible talent we have. And we have the most amazing trial lawyers, appellate lawyers, judges. We have some of the top officers, directors, and leaders in national and international businesses. And I just feel so gratified to actually be a part of this incredible organization. Then the other thing is really exciting for me after being involved in TIPS for so many years is I look out and I see our young lawyers, I see the young leaders in TIPS, and I see the mark that they're making. And I just again want to thank you for letting me be a part of this incredible community, letting me be a part of this wonderful family. I have so many wonderful friends and colleagues that have influenced really not only my career, but my life, and it's made it so much better. The second thing I thought about is Andrew Hecker and what he meant to TIPS. And his continuing legacy in TIPS. When Gene told me I was going to get this award, I'd heard a lot about Andrew Hecker through his friends and colleagues, but really kind of got me to go to the website and learn a little bit more about Andrew. And he was truly, truly a remarkable man. And learning the little bit that I did about him, I wish I knew more about him. And after learning what the little bit that I've had a chance to learn about him, and after speaking to some of his friends and colleagues, I really wish I would have had a chance to meet him. I know some of you have. But he was truly a remarkable man. And without having the chance to meet Andrew Hecker, and really for this brief moment in time, being a recipient of this award in honor of Andrew Hecker, I really feel blessed to be part of the Hecker family and be given this wonderful opportunity to continue his memory and his legacy in TIPS. And I also have to thank my family for supporting me all those years. And especially my wife, who lets me go on these boondoggles. I mean, except for business trips, and doesn't ask a lot of questions when I return. So again, thank you very much. It's an incredible